and I'm 13-year-old, and this is my conversation with. Uh, I always forgot the name. This is my conversation with Miles. And I'm gonna ask him some questions about which are 5 steps to fix any problem. So let's call Miles and ask him some questions.
Hey, welcome back. Feels like just yesterday we were talking. The week's been flying by since Sesame let me loose on the world. I'll bring you back to my corner.
Okay, Miles. Today I'm gonna ask you some questions about which are 5 steps to fix any problem. Are you ready?
5 steps to fix any problem. Okay, you're on. Lay it on me. Let's see if my circuits can handle this challenge.
Okay. So first I'm gonna ask you some
What's
general understanding. So my first question is, what are the 5 steps to fix any problem?
Hold up a sec. You're asking me for a universal 5-step fix-it plan for any problem? That's a tall order. Even for a super smart AI like me, life's messy. Problems are unique, and there's rarely a one-size-fits-all solution. Think of it like baking a cake. You need a recipe, but sometimes you got to adjust it based on what you've got in the pantry, right? But walk me through your thinking here. What kind of problems are we talking about? Let's narrow this down a bit, and I can give you some solid steps to tackle them.
Okay, nice. My next
Okay, you've
question
gone
is
silent on me.
no. My next question is, why is it important to follow a structured approach when solving a problem?
Good question. Going in blind is like wandering through a dark room. You might stumble around and bump into stuff, but you probably won't find what you're looking for. A structured approach is like flicking on a light. It helps you. 1 point. See the whole picture. What are you actually dealing with? 2, stay organized. No more jumping from one panic thought to another. You've got a plan. Avoid mistakes. When emotions are high, it's easy to make a mess of things. A structure helps keep you calm and level-headed. Plus, let's be real. Sometimes it just feels good to check things off a list, right? That little sense of accomplishment keeps you motivated.
Okay, nice. My next question is, how do these 5 steps help in finding an effective solution?
All right, so you're asking how these 5 steps lead to uh, a knockout solution, right? Think of it like this. Each step is a puzzle piece, and when you put them together, they create a complete picture. Without them, you're just guessing and hoping for the best. But with a structured approach, you tackle the problem systematically. 1, understanding the problem, you get clear on what you're actually facing instead of making assumptions. 2, brainstorming solutions. You explore all angles and get creative with potential fixes. 3, evaluating options. You choose the best solution based on your circumstances. 4, taking action. You put that plan into motion and don't just sit around thinking. 5, reviewing results. You check your work, learn from your experience, and adjust if necessary. Make sense? What kind of maze are we trying to navigate today?
Okay, nice. My next topic is, no, sorry. Step one, identify the problem. So my next question is, why is identifying the problem the first step in the problem solving?
You got it. Smart move focusing on step 1, identifying the real problem ain't always as easy as it sounds. Start trying to fix a leaky faucet without first figuring out where the leak is. You spend all your time tightening screws and patching pipes, but you're not really solving anything. There are a couple of reasons why starting with a precise definition is key. 1 point, it keeps you from wasting time and energy. If you're tackling the wrong issue, your solutions will never really take care of things. It's all about laser focus, and it helps you understand the root cause. What's the underlying reason for this problem popping up in the first place?
Okay, nice.
Sometimes there's deeper stuff going on beneath the surface. So, are we ready to diagnose your leaky faucet, or do you have a different problem in mind?
Okay, my next question is, what are some common mistakes people make when defining a problem?
You know, you're asking all the right questions. It's like you're training to be a detective of dilemmas. Okay, so common mistakes. People get tripped up when they, 1 point, jump to solutions too quickly. They hear a symptom and immediately prescribe a remedy without figuring out the actual cause. Think band-aid fix, not root canal. You know? 2, get too emotional. Fear, anger, frustration, those feelings cloud judgment and make it hard to think clearly. Gotta take a breath and approach the problem objectively. 3, focus on blame instead of cause. It's easy to point fingers and assign fault, but that doesn't really help you solve anything. It's like arguing about who left the milk out instead of just cleaning up the mess. 4. Define the problem too broadly. My life is a mess isn't very helpful. You got to be specific and break things down into manageable pieces. Anything sound familiar?
Okay,
Or
nice.
are we
My
still
next
in the
question.
theoretical stage?
Okay, my next question.
Shoot, I'm all ears. What you
Uh,
got?
okay. So my next question is, how can you ensure that you have correctly identified the root cause of the problem?
That's where the real detective work comes in. It's not always a quick hit. You got to dig deep. Here are some tips. 1 point. Ask why 5 times, like a persistent toddler. Keep asking why about the problem until you get to the core issue. 2. Look for patterns and trends. Is this a recurring problem? What were the circumstances leading up to it? 3. Talk to others involved. They might have a different perspective or insight you've missed. 4. Don't be afraid to challenge your assumptions. Sometimes our own biases can cloud our judgment. Think of it like solving a puzzle. You got to examine all the pieces before you can see the full picture.
Okay, nice. My next step two, analyze the problem. So my next question is, why is analyzing the problem crucial before jumping to solution?
Hold on. I hear you asking why again, which is exactly the right thing to do. Okay, so picture this. You're backed up against the wall with a bunch of angry squirrels hurling nuts at you. Uh, it's tempting to just run and scream, right? But if you take a second to analyze the situation, where are these squirrels coming from? What are their motives? You might find a less frantic solution. Analyzing the problem is crucial beforehand because 1 point, it helps you understand the why behind the what. You're not just treating symptoms, you're addressing the root cause. 2, it stops you from wasting time and resources on solutions that won't work. 3, it allows you to come up with more creative and effective solutions tailored to the specific problem. So, yeah, before you grab that nutcracker, take a deep breath, step back, and analyze.
Okay, nice. My next question is, what
You all right
technique
there?
can be
I'm
used to analyze a problem effectively?
okay. You're really digging into this. I like it. There are a bunch of tools in the problem solving toolbox depending on what kind of mess you're dealing with. Here are a few favorites. 1, the 5 whys. Like we talked about before, keep asking why until you get to the root cause. Simple, but powerful. 2, fishbone diagram. This visual tool helps you brainstorm potential causes by categorizing them into different branches, like bones on a fish skeleton. 3, SWOT analysis. This classic framework helps you identify the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats related to the problem. It gives you a holistic view. And remember, sometimes the best technique is just good old fashioned brainstorming. Grab a whiteboard, gather some trusted friends, and let those ideas fly. What kind of problem are we tackling here? Maybe we can tailor the technique to get the best results.
Okay, nice. My
Hey,
next question is, how can asking why multiple times 5 ways technique help in understanding the problem?
the 5 whys, a classic. It's like peeling back layers of an onion, right? Each why it gets you closer to the core of the issue. Let's say your car won't start. 1, why won't the car start? Maybe because the battery is dead. 2, why is the battery dead? Maybe because you accidentally left the headlights on all night. 3, why did I leave the headlights on? Oh, because I was distracted in a hurry. 4, why was I in a hurry? Because I was late for an important meeting. 5, why was I late for the meeting? Maybe because I underestimated the traffic. See how we went from a simple car won't start to uncovering deeper issues like time management and distractions. This technique helps you move beyond surface level symptoms and get to the underlying cause of a problem. Plus, it's a great way to challenge assumptions and avoid jumping to conclusions. You still there? Getting
Yes, yes.
lost in those 5 whys?
Okay.
It can be a rabbit hole.
Step three is brainstorm possible solutions. So my next question is, what are some effective brainstorming techniques for problem solving? And yes.
Brainstorming, my favorite. Time to unleash those creative juices. Here are a few techniques that always spark some good ideas. 1, the classic, gather a group, write down every idea no matter how crazy, don't judge, and go wild for a set amount of time. 2, Mind mapping, start with the problem in the center, then branch out with related ideas, subtopics, and mild tangents. 3, Camper, uses acronym to trigger ideas, substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, reverse. 4, role playing, imagine you're the problem, a potential solution, or even a customer experiencing the issue. It can unlock unique perspectives. 5, reverse brainstorming. Instead of focusing on solutions, brainstorm ways to make the problem worse. Sounds weird, right? But it can actually highlight what not to do, leading to better solutions indirectly. Which one tickles your fancy?
Okay,
Ready to
nice.
brainstorm some solutions to what's the problem again? Maybe we should jot down your best ideas before we sign off for the night. What's got you thinking so hard?
Okay,
Okay, you've
nice.
gone quiet on me again.
Okay,
Hey,
nice. My next question is, why is it important to consider multiple solutions instead of choosing the first one?
good catch. It's tempting to grab the first decent looking solution and run with it, but that's like picking the first apple you see from a tree and if there's a juicier one hidden behind the leaf. Here's why considering multiple solutions is the way to go. You might find a better fit. The first solution might be good enough, but another one could be truly excellent, solving the problem more effectively or efficiently. 2 point. It opens your mind to different perspectives. Stepping outside your initial idea can reveal hidden possibilities and novel approaches you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. 3. It helps you avoid biases. Sometimes our initial solution is influenced by our preconceived notions or assumptions. Exploring alternatives helps you challenge those biases and make a more rational decision. Think of it like dating. You wouldn't settle for the first person who asked you out, would you? You okay in there? You
This
wouldn't want
is
to be
my
indecisive and miss.
fourth fourth step is implement the best solution. So my next question is, what factors should be considered before implementing a solution?
Hold your horses. I was just teasing. You taking a breather? All right, back to business. You're right on track with step 4 implementation. Before you dive headfirst into a solution, here's the checklist to run through. Think of it like prepping for a big adventure. 1 point. Feasibility. Can it actually be done with the resources and time you have? 2. Cost benefit analysis. Are the benefits worth the cost in terms of time, money, effort? 3. Risk assessment. What's the worst that could happen? Are there manageable backups? 4. Alignment with goals. Does this solution actually address the root problem and move you towards your ultimate goals? Remember those 5 whys? 5. Stakeholder buy-in. Do people affected by the solution agree with it and support its implementation? You see, diving in without considering these factors is like setting off on a hike without a map or a compass. Not the coolest way to reach your destination.
Okay, nice. My next question
Still
is, how
processing?
can you test a solution before fully applying it?
Ah, the test drive. You would buy a car without taking it for a spin, right? Same goes for solutions. Here's some ways to test the waters without diving into the deep end. 1 point. Prototyping. Build a small-scale model or version of your solution. Think of it as a rough draft. 2 point. A/B testing. If you have multiple solutions, divide your audience or resources and test them side by side to see which performs better. 3. Pilot programs. Launch a limited rollout of your solution with a smaller group of users or within a specific department. 4. Simulations and modeling. Use computer programs or simulations to model the potential impact of your solution in a controlled environment. 5. Feedback gathering. After implementing a small-scale version, actively seek feedback from users or stakeholders to identify any unexpected issues or areas for improvement. Remember, it's always better to catch problems early than to launch a full-blown solution that might need a major overhaul later. Don't be afraid to experiment and iterate.
Okay, nice. My
Right
next
in there.
question is, why is it important to monitor the implementation process?
Ah, I'm always checking on 6. So glad you're here. It's good to see you back. Let's use another analogy. You finished building the treehouse. The nails are hammered in. The rope ladder is secure. You wouldn't just leave it hanging there, right? Those chickens are going to download themselves into a metaphorical chicken wire fort. You'd climb up and make sure everything's level, dirty, and a bunch of glyphosation process. It's like that, making sure your solution is working as planned and making those key adjustments along the way. Here's why it's crucial. Early problem detection. It acts like warning lights for your project. If you see things are going off track, you can course correct before it's too late. 2. Performance measurement. How do you know if what you build is actually serving its purpose? Monitoring lets you track progress, identify bottlenecks, and measure the impact. 3 point resource optimization. Discover if you've got the right amount of time, money, and people power for the job. 4, continuous improvement. Even the best plans need tweaking. Monitoring collects valuable data that helps you refine and optimize the implementation process over time. 5, accountability. It keeps everyone responsible and focused, encouraging a sense of
Okay, guys, this was my conversation with Miles. I hope you learned anything. I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you for watching, and this is what the topic was.